start by saying that money is not the most important thing in life, but it does affect everything that is important in life. Money is simply a tool. It can be used to gain access to things that are the most important thing in life. It just gives you options. Money gives you options. Today's economy has had a devastating effect on people's financial futures. Nearly half of Americans have less than $500 in their savings. 1.2 million individuals filed for bankruptcy in 2012. More than half of all workers have less than $25,000 in their savings and investments for retirement. 25% of married people with children in their household lack life insurance. The average American household has at least one credit card and has nearly $15,000 in credit card debt. More than two-thirds in the U.S. live paycheck to paycheck. So the harsh reality is that most families operate in a debt cycle versus a cash cycle. A debt cycle is when you're outspending your income, you're borrowing to maintain your lifestyle, and you're paying one debt to accrue another, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Cash cycle is when you control your finances. You're debt-free, you're paying with cash instead of credit, and you have investment savings and assets. The fact is that you have the power to accumulate savings and wealth and become debt-free. Most people think if I get a better job, earn more money, if I get a larger inheritance, if I win the lottery, then I can become debt-free. The fact is, no matter what your income level is, you can attain financial security. It just takes time, and you have to learn a few simple principles of how money works. So I'm just going to teach you a few simple principles of how money works. The first and most important principle is pay yourself first. Now, a lot of people don't understand when I mean pay yourself first. It doesn't mean when you get paid, go buy a purse or go buy something that you want. That's not what it means. Pay yourself first means putting yourself and your family before any demands on your money. Paying yourself first is a form of self-respect. It means deposit a set amount each and every month into an investment or a savings, no matter what other financial obligations you have. And you'll be amazed at how fast your money will grow if you invest just a small amount every month into some type of vehicle that gets a good return. The power of compound interest can help you increase your small investment into a substantial savings. And to understand how fast your money will grow, it's a simple trick called the rule of 72. Now, I didn't learn this rule until I went into business with my mom and my sisters. I went through 8 years of college, and I never heard of the rule of 72 until I went into business with my family. The rule of 72 simply says if you take the number 72 and divide it by what interest you're getting on your money, it tells you how long it takes for your money to double. So if you're depositing your money into a savings account and you're getting 1% interest divided by 72, how long does it take for your money to double? So if you deposit in something where you're getting 4% interest, it means it'll take your money 18 years to double. That's the power of compound interest. But what's the problem? At the end of the month, most people don't have enough money left to save. The solution, again, is at the first of the month, before you pay any bills, write yourself a check for 10% of your income and deposit it somewhere. I know it sounds hard, but you have to put yourself ahead of the line and treat your savings like you would treat a bill that you have every month. Don't pay the high cost of waiting. Most people don't have a lot of money, so they wait. They say, well, I'll save later. I'm going to pay bills off first, so I'm going to save later. But time is critical. When you're young, you can deposit small amounts of money, and you have a lot at the end. But when you wait till you're 30 and 40 or 50 years old and you begin to start saving for retirement, you have to play what's being called catch up because you weren't saving in the early years. To give you an example, suppose your parents had deposited $1,000 for you the day you were born. They left it in an account untouched until you were 67. The power of compound interest says that at 67 you would have $406,000 if it was invested in something with a good rate of return, without you ever adding another penny. So that's why you don't want to pay the high cost of waiting. The second principle is to adjust your priorities and lifestyle. It's the saying that says if you make $10 and you spend $9, you'll have happiness. But if you spend if you make $10 and spend $11, you'll have misery. So it's not about what you make, it's what you keep. And along with setting priorities comes one tough rule. You can't have everything, so you have to make conscious decisions about all of your purchases. There's a quote, I can't remember who said it, but it says, too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want to impress people they don't like. And it's true, you try to keep up with the Joneses. You try, well, she has this, I want to have that. So you're spending money, borrowed money, that's not even yours yet to keep up with other people. So you have to pretty much decipher between what is a need and a want. A need is things like food, shelter, you know you have to have that. A A want is something like a designer purse, a bigger house, an extravagant vacation. Those are wants. And it's okay to want those things, but if you want to be debt free, sometimes you have to make sacrifices for a period of time and kind of put your wants to the side and just deal with your needs. It's tough, but I mean, it's important to your financial health. The third principle is earn additional income and reduce your savings. So if you have a family and your income is kind of modest, so things may be a little tight, and it's tough to invest $50 a month. $50 a month may not be something that you can sacrifice right now, but you can consider taking a part-time job or even tap into your entrepreneurial spirit. Each of us have some kind of hobby that we do. Try to make money off of your hobby. Let your money turn into something that will be beneficial for your family. If you find yourself spending a lot more money than you're bringing in, look at some areas where you can reduce your spending. One area where a lot of people spend a lot of money is their insurance. Your auto insurance, your home insurance, your life insurance. Try to do some comparison shopping and see which one, may be better for you. You can save some money in that area. Another area where people lose a lot of money is their federal tax components. I know when you get a job, they give you those forms. How much do you want to let? Most people don't even read it. They put 0, or they put 1, or they put 2. They really don't know what those numbers mean. The less elections you have, the more money is taken out of your check. The more elections you have, the less is taken out of your check. So with that being said, you have to evaluate your situation to know what your election should be. Because if you just put 0, and you do 0 all year, and you're a single person, and you put 0, at the end of the year, you might get a big tax refund, but what you're essentially doing, you're giving Uncle Sam a tax-free loan on your money. So at the end of the year, he's going to give you this big refund, and you think he's coming into some money. Well, what has happened, he's just giving you back what was yours in the beginning because you gave him too much of it. And he's not going to give you a penny of interest on it. But if you owe, he's going to charge you interest and penalties. So what you need to do is evaluate your situation. If you have a home, if you have children, if you pay child care, take all of that into consideration and raise what you elect, your tax components, because that'll give you more money during the year to do the things you want to do with your family. Also, another area where people lose a lot of money is their communication with media, cell phone, cable, long distance, home phone. According to a recent study, it says more than 1/3 of homes now only use their wireless phone. I only have a wireless phone because I'm never home. So there's no need for me to have a home phone, and my security system now works with my cell phone. So I don't even have a landline phone anymore because I don't use it. So consider getting rid of that. Also, there's cheaper alternatives such as like Skype or MagicJack. And then there's also websites you can go to called, one is myrateplan.com, one is saledeals.com. You can use that to evaluate what you're currently spending in your cell phone technology, and it'll tell you some cheaper alternatives. The fourth principle is avoid the credit trap. Credit cards are good for convenience, and that's it. Be careful to fall into that notion of plastic money. If you're going to have a credit card and you're going to use it, pay your balance in full every month because you'll avoid interest charges, you'll prevent your balance from escalating out of control, and it'll help you keep your monthly charges under control. You'll probably spend less if you use the money you have on hand versus using credit. And it was another part of my presentation, but I'll put this in here now. Did you know if you use a credit card and you made a $3,000 purchase, say you went and bought, I don't know, a big TV or something, $3,000, and you just paid the minimum payment every month, it would take you 10 years to pay off that $3,000 purchase, and in the end, you would have paid $2,000 in interest. So that $3,000 TV ended up costing you $5,000. The fifth principle is set goals and have a plan. The problem is most people don't don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. So if you know that in a couple years you want to take your family on a big vacation, start putting money aside now for it. That way it eliminates the need for you to use credit. If you know that you want to retire by a certain age, don't wait. If you want to retire at 60, don't wait till you're 50 to start planning. Start planning now. Setting goals gives you two things: an incentive to make the necessary sacrifices, and it gives you benchmarks along the way to gauge your progress. After you set your goals, you'll then need a roadmap to get you there, a financial game plan. The sixth principle is eliminate debt. I'm going to say that again. Eliminate debt. Of all the threats to your financial security, none can be more dangerous than debt. In every family's quest to feel good financially, debt is the common enemy. Whenever I sit down with somebody to say, okay, what's your plans? What are your goals? I want to do this and this and this, but I don't have the money. When we look and see why they don't have the money. They have too much debt. Um, it's important to know also the different kinds of debt. Revolving debt is credit cards and things of that nature. It's called revolving because the interest compounds daily. Again, if you pay the minimum payments, the interest keeps adding on every day. And there's no fixed amount of time that you can get out of that debt. And there's no fixed amount that you pay every month. Fixed debt is something like a car payment. You know when you go purchase your car, you're paying this amount of money, you're gonna pay this amount every month, and you know that you're gonna be finished in a certain amount of time. So that's fixed debt. Common financial mistakes that people make, they don't value their credit. People don't value their credit. Good credit is a valuable commodity. Good credit not only affects you getting a credit card, which you don't need, but it affects you getting a job, it affects you getting an apartment, it affects you buying a home. Good credit affects everything. Bad credit, again, including bad credit records, late payments, they can negatively affect your financial profile, and they can hurt you if you have a legitimate need to borrow. So if you just legitimately need to borrow money and you have bad credit, you know, that it's going to be an issue, or you're going to have higher interest. If you use credit cards, avoid raising your limits. An increased limit is merely an increased temptation to buy. And a lot of times companies will send you letters and say, we're going to increase your credit limit to such and such and such. That just means that you're using your credit card more than you're supposed to be, because they only increase it for people who use it. If you don't use it, they're not going to try to increase it because they're not making any money off of you anyway. Another mistake that people make is they don't monitor their credit history. It could be things on your credit history that aren't even, on your credit report that aren't even yours, but if you don't take the time to know or take the time to pull it, you won't even know that it's on there. And it could be things that are negatively impacting your credit that aren't due to your fault. And again, a good credit score is imperative. Another mistake that people make is they don't have life insurance. People just don't feel the need. I don't know why people don't feel the need for life insurance. A lot of people say, well, I don't need life insurance. They just need enough to marry me. I don't want to leave anybody any money here. I don't really need life insurance. I'm young. I don't need life insurance. But when I tell my clients when they say that, I say, okay, you bought this car. You have a nice car in your yard. You know, how much was that car? How much is that car worth to you? Do you insure your car? Of course. Okay, you bought this nice home. How much is this house worth to you? Do you insure your home? Of course. How much is your life worth to you? Your life is probably worth more than that car or that house. And I say that because the purpose of life insurance, people think it's just to bury you. The purpose of life insurance is to protect your income. I'm going to use you for an example. I don't know if you have life insurance, but I'm going to use you for an example. If something happened to you tomorrow, God forbid, you have a wife and children. They not only need to bury you, they need to replace your income that they lost. Single people will say, well, I don't need life insurance. Well, yeah, you do, because suppose something happened to you tomorrow and you became uninsurable and you didn't have it, you got married next year, your husband then couldn't get any on you. So if something happened to you, then your husband is in that same situation. He needs to figure out how to replace your income. So I do tell young people that you do need to get insurance while you're younger as well, because it's cheaper to get it. And a common misconception is people think that you need life insurance for your entire life. You don't. Life insurance is simply a way to buy time. And I say that because it's a theory called the theory of decreasing responsibility. And what it means is that when you're younger, you have more obligations. You have children, you have younger children, so if something happened to you, the loss of your income would be detrimental. But as you get older, theoretically, you're supposed to have more savings, you're supposed to have your house paid off, you're supposed to have not so much debt. So if something happens to you, your family should technically be self-insured because they have savings, so they have enough to bury you. And you don't really have a lot of debt that needs to be paid if something happens. The seventh and final principle, which probably is the most important, is to change your thinking about money. The way you think about money is everything. Your mindset is a powerful thing when it comes to your money. It explains why so many people, it's a show that comes on about people who win the lottery, and you can see it, most of them are broke after they won. And the reason is because their mindset never changed with the money. They got it, and all they knew was they had a lot of money, so they thought I could spend. They didn't think, well, once this money is gone, what am I gonna do? So they didn't think, well, let me invest it, let me do whatever. So your mindset has to change with the money. It helps to understand why there's so many, if you look at like billionaires, there's a lot of like self-made billionaires, but what's the difference? It's the way they talk about their money. So if you don't think that your family deserves to be financially secure, you'll never be financially secure. If you don't think you deserve to be debt-free, you'll never be debt-free. So you have to upgrade your self-image and believe that you deserve the freedom and peace of mind that financial security brings. If you change your thinking about money, it's a trickle-down effect because it also changes your children's thinking about money. And I know when I was younger, my mom and dad used to have money talks with us. Like, they would, they would talk about what they had to pay, what was coming in. So we knew, they would always talk about, well, we're saving this amount for this and this amount for that. So we knew as children, how our family's finances work. So I'm not saying you have to, include your children in on your budget talks, but, talk about money with your children so they'll know growing up too. It's not something that you need to just learn once you become an adult. And the last thing, most people say that money doesn't bring happiness. Well, I say neither does being broke. But I can be a whole lot happier with options than I can without options. And money, what it does, money gives you options. It helps you be able to have a lot more experiences with your family and to build a lot more memories with your family and your loved ones. And that, in turn, becomes the most important thing in life. So, that's my part. And I also have gift certificates for you all, because I am a financial educator and we do financial, we do what's called a financial needs analysis. And what it does, it gives you a roadmap it gives you a snapshot of what your financial, what your financial situation is now. And it gives you a roadmap to what you want to do. So if you know that you want to retire in a certain amount of time, if you know you want to pay off debt, if you know you want to build for your family's education, or just provide financial security for your family, this gives you a roadmap for how to do that. So it's free, it's complimentary, and you all can call me when you're ready to do one, and I'll sit down with you and go through it. And that's my skill.
Right, I'm sure that, you need some financial advice.
I'll put it
You're
back
more than
here.
happy to put her back there and you can get in contact with her. Before we keep the presentation moving, we just asked if you would stick around. We'll take a 10-minute break, indulge in the Krispy Kremes, and we'll be right back.